This video is about a Chrysler 300 with the 5.7 Hemi. Started it up 20 minutes later after running fine. Sounded like a diesel with no oil in it. This is the beginning where I took it apart. You can see that there's a little bit of carbon built up on it. It's got 127,000 miles on it. Looks good though. The cylinders are plush. Nothing wrong with it there. Over on this side here, this is where you'll see the cylinder that got damaged. It ate a valve seat. The valve seat just dropped and the piston hammered it. You can see how it kind of hamburgered the cylinder right here, the number 5 cylinder, which turns out to be a pretty common issue with this engine. So there's the cylinder again. Pulled the pan to take the piston out. Let me show you how I did that. I used a couple jack stands. There's one, that yellow one there, and there's the other one. And then I used the regular jack with a piece of 2x4 going from the front of the vehicle to the back of the vehicle. It fits right in the cutout inside the oil pan, right on the bell housing of the transmission. With the intake and the heads off of it, it's relatively light, so you can safely lift it from there. Drop the rack and pinion mounts and just let it hang there out of the way of the pan. And then right here's the pickup tube. After you drop the pan, it won't come out, but if you loosen this a few turns, the pickup tube will tip backwards and the pan will fall right out. But you do have to lift the motor mounts. If you see, I lifted the motor mounts just a couple inches. And like I said, the pan just falls right back out. And now I got to disconnect the rod cap and pull the piston out. Here's the piston. You can see how it just hammered the crap out of it. Bearing looks perfect. No oil loss in this engine, or insufficient oiling. I got the heads back. I already got the piston in the one cylinder. This is the right-hand passenger side. I have this head already in here. I knocked it out. I just honed it out and then put a new piston with rings in it. Cleaned up all the cylinders, got rid of the carbon, and now I'll put on the other head. Okay, well here's the final video. Got the engine all back together. The new heads. Everything's back where it belongs. Injector's all hooked up. Note, I did pre-lube the engine. I removed the coil wires. I hadn't plugged in the injectors yet. There was no spark plugs in it. And I cranked it over at intervals, probably for about 2 minutes, to pre-lube the engine, get just oil in it. But you will have to disconnect the battery terminal afterwards because it'll set codes. And then just turn your key on for like 30 seconds. Turn the key off, put your battery positive terminal back on it. And now we're ready to fire it up. Let's see how she does. Okay. Key on. And here we go. Sounds pretty normal. No lift or ticks or nothing. Pre-lube took care of that. And then letting it sit for a couple hours after those pre-lubes. Normal. Well, there you go. good. Oh, gotta put the damn seatbelt on. Let's see this ring, huh? Sounds pretty good. Good pickup. Runs better than it ever has. Fully warmed up and running for about 45 minutes. Sounds real good. Let's see what it sounds like when we really drive it. There we go. Good. Sounds like it's supposed to. You let it wind down a little bit. Okay, let's take her back on the highway. Run her again. Sounds healthy. Let's open her up a little bit. Sounds good. Let's punch it. Yeah, she scoots. Back to normal. Well, that's it. She's riding normal.
Here's how you correct Chrysler's Hemi design flaw. You take your perfectly running vehicle and you pull those heads off of it. Isn't that crazy? Send those heads to the machine shop, have them take out all 16 valve seats. Get oversized valve seats as well as thicker valve seats. By making this modification to a thicker oversized valve seat, the machine shop can increase the interference spec between the bore and the valve seat, making for a tighter fit. When you get the heads back, put it back on your vehicle, fire it up, and you'll never have that problem again. Here are also some torque specs and torque sequences. Please note that those head bolts are torque to yield. You don't want to use them again. They've already been stretched. So if you yield at 90 degrees again, you're not going to have the same torque as you would with a brand new bolt. So use new head bolts. They're cheap. $40 for a whole set. I hope this is helpful. Maybe they'll do a recall eventually, huh? Mine was a 2007, by the way. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them.